Well, now we know what the Arsenal squad looks like. I feel more comfortable giving predictions. And this is the thing. When asked 3 weeks ago, where will Arsenal finish? Who will be top scorer? This, that and the other. Like, it's hard to know when the business wasn't completely done. We now have it all done. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on some of the key things that people are talking about when it comes to player performance, but also team's performance throughout the season. So strap in, let's get into it. Plenty of graphics to come up, courtesy of the amazing work from Max. Show him some love in the comments, and let's go through all these different graphics, starting with league and cup predictions for the current campaign. Now, I know I'm starting on a slightly disappointing one. I think we're going to finish second again, people. And if you watch any of my lives or any of my reaction on deadline day to the Raheem Sterling signing, I kept describing it as this, right? If Arsenal are here and City were here, call this 89 points and call this 91. I think both teams did this in the window. I think Calafiori and Marino and Sterling might have been enough to make us a 91, 92 point team and catch City a little bit more. But I think Gundogan is a massive signing for them. I think he's huge. Plus Savinho. And they got Gvardiol balling out last season. He'll do the same against this year. And everyone said there was no backup for Haaland. But what's the problem? Because they'll play a bunch of false nines. They've got a load of them anyway. Nunes and Kovacic, from what I saw, they've ended up staying. As soon as deadline day finished, I went on holiday. Apologies. So, unless I missed something there. But, I mean, if Rodri's injured, Gundogan plays as a 6. He's been the starting 6 in a title-winning Man City side in a run-in. So, they've got most bases covered. And I just feel like, yes, they were here, we were here. And I think we did this, maybe even this. But I just think Savinho and Gundogan give them a little bit more. I think they're stronger this season than they were last season. The hope is that the intangibles, right, the momentum, the belief, the motivation, all that kicks in. Of course, we're all hoping that all that plays a part. But I just feel that Arsenal didn't quite do enough to make me feel like, yes, we're going to leapfrog them and do them. But we absolutely can. And look, I'm expecting big things for the rest of the season. I mean, I think we'll get to the Champions League semi-final. I'm really excited about the new Champions League format, the way it's going to work. I think it's going to be loads of fun. I think we're going to learn a lot about Arsenal too. But I just think ultimately we'll fall short as maybe tiredness hits the legs, as pressure kicks in, as maybe a title race is taking our attention. And I just have this feeling that ultimately a Real Madrid in the semis, a Man City, a Liverpool at Anfield, again, are we a better team than Liverpool? Sure, but I think they know how to master and negotiate European ties, and I think that is just where it could get a little bit tricky for us. But the semi-final was certainly an upgrade on last year, especially with this new format. I think Arsenal will actually do quite well in it. Now, I've got here that we're going to win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Call me delusional. A League and Cup double. Let me just say, this would be a tremendous campaign. A Champions League semi-final, second in the Premier League, and 2 trophies, domestic trophies, would be a fantastic campaign. I want to stress that I'm not presenting this as we're winning both, but I think we're winning one. I think we're going to win one of the cups. So I've just put them both down as wins. And maybe we win the FA Cup and don't do as well in the Carabao, whatever. But let me say that the squad depth is there more than it's ever been. I said at the end of my video that came out on Wednesday, which was my kind of analysing the Arsenal squad, I said Arteta might have had last season 23, 24 players, only trusting really 15 of them. And I think this season he's got 22, but he actually trusts 18 or 19. And that is going to be massive, I think, for, Carabao Cup games. What's your starting front three, right? Let's just make one up. Saka, Havertz, Trossard. That's fair enough. The front three that ended last season in great form. Well, so Jesus, Sterling, Martinelli. That's not a bad front three, is it? No one is complaining about that front three. It's got bags of quality, it's got bags of pace, and it could be starting cup games, it could be starting Carabao Cup games. And I think when you look at that, Ødegaard, Partey, Rice. Okay, what's behind that? Waneri, Jorginho, Marino. Balance, quality, players we want to see. And I think this is where Arsenal have taken a step forward. And I think that is going to reap the rewards in the cup competitions, and we're going to see some sort of cup win. It could be both. I think it'll be one of them. But let's see. Let's go to output for the key forwards in particular. I really want to talk about this because I think it's really interesting how we've got players that I think have a history of getting some decent output. Not all of them, but some of them. And now it's interesting to try and predict what are they going to do going into next season. Now, I've got some bold predictions. Some of these are actually a little bit nuts. It's across all competitions. But Bukayo Saka have gone for 28 goals and 19 assists across all comps. I know, you're all going, James, what on earth? But okay, the 19 assists might have been a bit mad. But I think we're going to channel so much of our football through Saka. I know that recent analysis piece I've talked about playing a lot of our football down the left. But I think he could get big numbers. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to change my mind. It's not 19. Let's change it to 12. I just sort of heard it. 40 goals and assists in all comps. I think I was doing the maths and I was going, that's not miles off 50. That would be incredible. Let's go 28 goals and 12 assists. I've dumbed it down a little bit. But I stand by what I think he's going to do on the goals front. I think he's going to get big numbers on the goals front. And I think he is a player who is going to be getting into those areas more. I think Sterling will help with that. I think we're going to channel a lot of our football through him. I think he's going to step up and be the main guy. And I'm really excited to see if he can do that. I think it's a really exciting season for Bukayo Saka, and I think this is when he's going to announce himself as a big player. He is a big player, but you know what I mean? Top draw on the big stage. A player you can expect in that way to deliver. Kai Havertz, I'm going for 20 goals, 10 assists across all comps. I think he'll do that because I think he'll probably be the starting number 9. Martinelli, 12 goals, 6 assists. Leandro Trossard, I'm going, because I think his numbers will get better to Martinelli, but I don't think they'll be incredible. Trossard, I'm going to go 13 goals, 5 assists. Now, why is that down on basically last season, especially on the goals front where he got 17 goals in all comps? Well, it's because, as you can see later on, Raheem Sterling being in the squad, I think is going to take a little bit from Trossard and Martinelli's game time as well. And I think Raheem Sterling is going to rack up 10 goals and 10 assists. I think he'll get double figures in both, simply because he's a player that Arteta can trust on that front. Jesus, 8 goals, 7 assists as well. Let's just quickly fly through these last ones here. My individual awards, I'm going for Martin Odegaard to get Player of the Year because I just think everything will be channeled through Martin Odegaard. I think he will be brilliant, and I'm excited to watch him just captain Arsenal to hopefully some trophy wins of some kind. But I think another big Premier League campaign is there for him, and by the end of the campaign, he'll be an undisputed world-class midfielder. Declan Rice, I'll give goal of the season because I feel like he's going to smash one in from 30 yards at some point. David Raya, I'm going to get down as my most improved because I think the perception around him will change massively. Munir, the obvious breakout player, and Raheem Sterling, I think will be the surprise package. I think people will look at Sterling and go, people will kind of ridiculing, is he washed, is he actually not that good, blah, blah. I think we're going to get more out of Raheem Sterling than people are expecting, and that loan fee, not paying much of his wages, no obligation to buy. We just got him for a year to see how he does. I actually think he's going to do well, and at the end of the campaign, we're going to be talking about whether we want to keep him. I really do believe that. I think he'll surprise people. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What are you expecting from these players, output-wise, awards-wise, and how do you think Arsenal will do this season? Let me know, and hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you very soon.